What's going on, guys? This is Damien from The Lookout and I am here with how to play Red Super 17. Yes, Red Super 17. I'm so hyped for this one. And yeah, I've been trying it out. It's really cool. It's really cool. And it still keeps that unique Super 17 kind of shitty to pilot, but it has good payoffs feel. Anyway, before we begin this video, huge shout out to the Coffee Club, our lovely patrons. These are our $2 and up patrons that buy us coffee. They keep this crazy content grind going. And guys, thanks out for support. If you wish to join the Coffee Club, link to our Patreon is in the description below. And I think that's about everything. Roll the video. As with all of our videos, let's start with the breakdown. So I'm gonna give you a brief archetype breakdown. I'll show you some lines of play, some interactions. I'll show you my deck list, and we're gonna go over the first 2 or 3 turns with it, and then we'll just wrap it up with a summary. Let's go. Let's start with our leader, Hellfighter 17. Yes, thank you Bandai so much for making another Super 17. Here it is, the newest Super 17 leader. The front side is really good. You start with the field card in play. Activate main is a self-awakening plus tutor, but you send your card to the drop. There is setup with this. Basically, you're setting up for your later turns. On attack, you draw 1. And yeah, like everything on this front side is amazing. The only problem is that you awaken on 5 lives or less, which usually isn't a problem because you go down to 7, then your opponent attacks you, you go down to 6, and then you use activate main and you just awaken. You go down to 5 and you awaken. When you do so, you don't restand energy, however, instead you draw 2 cards. On the awakened side, our leader is really insane. So, Super 17 Anti-Saiyan Killing Machine. I love the names. I sometimes love the names of these cards. Auto, once per turn. When your red Super 17 card attacks, draw 1. Can be any Super 17 card. Activate main. Place a total of 3 cards from under all your red Super 17 cards into their owner's drop. Choose up to 1 of your red Super 17 cards, switch it to active mode, and this card gets plus 10k for the turn. Because it's under all, it makes it much easier to achieve, basically. He restands and he gains plus 10k for the turn. His activate main once per battle. Activate battle, the other one, is just comboing with an android 5k from the drop with its skills negated. So it's cool. It's a way to generate the energy, but more importantly, it's a way to set up your future plays. But wait, it gets even better. Now we're talking. How would you like to gain like a Champa effect for free in the archetype? Yes, the Z extra, which you play for free. You constantly play it for free. There are androids who do this. They give your leader... they give your leader plus 5k for the turn, so your leader is immediately 20, and then for free, with 0 restrictions, you place 1 of your Z energy into your drop and you remove this card from the game, choose up to 1 Super 17 card, and it gains double strike for the battle. Any Super 17 card gains double strike. It can be your leader. So yeah, that's insane. That's Champa on demand. However, it still gets crazier than this. How would you like to make your leader a triple attacker? Yes, triple attacker. You just play Vegeta Royal Evolution. So you pay 1 and you restand your leader, you negate all of his skills, you give him plus 5k for the turn, and then he just can't activate skills, blah. You blank your leader, but you give him plus 5k. So first swing, you just attack normally with the leader. Then you use activate main, restand, become, 25k, and then you swing again. And then you combo Vegeta, now you're 30, you pay 1, you restand your leader, and then you attack the 3rd time. So this is what it looks like in practice. You start, right? You play a 6 cost, so you cheat out the Z extra, you play it, you give your leader plus 5k. Your leader is 20 now. You attack, activate battle, combo from the drop, go up to 25. Then you use your activate main to restand and to give your leader plus 10k. So now you attack with a 30k leader, you use the activate main from the Z extra, because you will have a card because you just comboed from the drop, kill a Z energy, gain double strike, so your 30k double on your second swing. You also combo with Royal Evolution, you pay 1, your leader gets plus 5k, I mean that's after the attack. He restands and then you swing again with 35. So yeah, first attack was 25, then 30 double, 35 double because you comboed with Vegeta, and then 35 single. Triple attack. We also have a field card. There's not much to say about it. You just this is just a way to put cards under your leader so that you can restand him later, just like solely with your leader. Overall, it's just pretty decent. It's a decent card. There isn't much to say, just passively getting cards for your leader's activate main ability. Of course, it doesn't depend solely on this, but it's a way to get them. And that's basically it. We also have a boss monster. I believe that it's kind of whatever. I'm not fully sold on it, but it's okay. It's pretty neat. 8 cost 30k blocker. It's also a barrier blocker dual attacker basically, or a single attacker plus blocker, because you have the ability to restand him. You pay 1, you place 1 android card from your Z energy under it, you draw 1, you switch into active mode, and then you give something minus 20. It also draws you 2 cards just for existing, which is great. It's a Super 17 that, you get a draw when you play him, and you get a draw when you restand him. So just by existing, plus it's a Super 17. When he swings, you can draw as well from your leader. Minus 20 is a nice bonus, and overall, while it's not the flashiest card, it's not bad. We have a neat chain of Super 17s, so basically 6 drops and then you evolve into 7 drops. 6 drops play the Z extra, 1 just plays it and draws 1, the other one plays it and gives something minus 20k. They're both big, they're both 25ks, those are respectable attackers. The first 7 cost is a 30k dual attacker. The other one, which is superior to it in every way, is a 30k critical guy who also removes something, and there is a very neat play with it called the crit gambit. Here it is. Alright, the crit gambit. So it's an exceptionally dangerous play that you can do with this 7 drop and your Z extra. So basically what you need this android, a 6 cost. You need to have 3 cards under your leader or under one of the other 17s. You need to have your Z extra in play, and you basically, just need to have this 7 drop. And here's how it works. Here's how it goes. So we start the crit gambit. We set up the 6 cost. You play him, you get his auto, you play the Z extra, you give your leader plus 5k. Then you can swing with him if you want to do so. I just didn't put it here due to spacing issues. You pay 1, you play the crit guy. And now the crit gambit occurs. First thing, the crit gambit is split into 3 phases. First off, you attack with the 30k dude, and you use the Z extra to give him double. Now what happens here is the opponent can either negate this, or they can take 30k double crit to the face, more than 30k because you'll be comboing on it. If they negate, you move to the second part, which is using the activate main of your leader to restand the 7 cost. Then you swing 30 crit again, threatening to use the Z extra. If your opponent negates again, then you swing with your leader and you use the Z extra anyway to make him a 30k double just without the crit. By this point, your opponent probably doesn't have any more negates. So yeah, that's the crit gambit. Let's briefly touch upon the best card, the best card in the set. This is the Super 17, not the Super 17, the Android 17 SR. Yeah, for a single energy you get a 20k beater, actual 25 because he combos when he attacks. It's both characters, which is massive in the deck. You can combo with it in rest mode, you draw 1 when you play him. This card just does everything. You combo with it, and you combo with an additional card from your drop for free. That's huge. It's a 10k combo for free after swinging a 20k plus draw, and in that combo you can just pay 1 and assemble your Super 17 6 cost. Last but not the least, we have the Z Battle. The Z Battle is an absolute must play. Basically, it's a very late play. You need to have 3 or more energy and 2 or more androids in your Z energy, but you play it for 1 and 1 Z. It has Union Absorb limit 1. If this is your leader and you place 1 rand android 17 from your Z energy under this card, you play a 6 cost from your hand on top of it in rest mode. Why is this big? It's because you don't need to combo anymore to get this going. So he does come out very late, but in theory we can play 2 Super 17 cards thanks to it and just make one huge push. Okay guys, you know the drill. I am back with Deck Planet, the best deck builder in the world, and here is the build that I'm currently trying out. So I like it, I really do. So you run your playsets of the 1-drops and of course the SR, which is amazing. When it comes to these 4 costs, I think you can run it like these, or maybe you can just reduce them both to 2. They're not very good, but it's a way to get your Super 17s out. I'm not a big fan of the 4 costs. When it comes to 6 costs, I think you need to run playsets of each. Maybe you can reduce 1 because they do trigger your power absorption and they do get your Z extra out. So even if you don't have Super 17s to go, on top of these, you can at least get your Z extra out. Only 2 copies of this one. I feel like this is the worst one. It's like 30k, but it's nothing spectacular about this one. This dude, for crit gambit, you need to run 4 copies of him. Then you have 3 copies of the boss monster. I just flat out don't feel like this card is way too good. I prefer the crit guy, so I'm just running 3 copies of him. 2 royal evolutions to help you restand more often. Your super combo is Reddits because you go down to 5 anyway. Then you play at least 2 defeating the demons. Now what you can do is you can reduce one of the 6 costs to 1 or one of the 4 costs, let's say this dude, to 1, and you can up defeating the demons. I think that's what should be done because defeating the demon is insane. There is also some argument to try to fit Pan, the one from Anniversary Box, somewhere in here, because there is a steady way to increase power of your cards. Like the leader does it by himself and the Z Extra does that. 4 copies of Explosive because you go into Z Extra naturally. 2 testings, and for the SER I like this Goku. That's the one that I'm testing at the moment. Pen is an option as well, but I don't feel like I have a big enough board for Pan most of the time, so I feel like this one is good. How often will you actually refill your hand? You draw a lot, but at the moment I just can't find a better alternative, so I'm like, okay, let's go with this one. When it comes to the Z deck, 2 copies of this 17 to help you go into your big guys without having to combo later on. SSB, rush attack, defender, 1 of these because he works with the 7 costs. Maybe you can squeeze in 2 of him. 1 Z Unison because, yeah, sure, why not? And of course you need to look. I'm not gonna listen to arguments that 4 of these dudes is too much. Now I just figured that my light was off. Well, fuck it. So you need to run 4 copies of this guy. You need to run 4 copies of the Z Unison. In no world will you be like, hey, I can have 4 Champas on demand for free. I'm not gonna use them. So yeah, you run 4 copies of the Z Extra. Anyway, yeah, that's the deck list. Okay, now it's time to check out the game plan. We'll be going over your first 2 turns with the deck. It's enough to get you started. As always, we are assuming that you're using the provided deck list and that you're gonna be going first. Alright, let's see what Super 17 can do. Turn 1, the usual setup. Here's what a standard turn 1 looks like. You start, you charge 1, you play your field card do you play before your charge, but doesn't matter. This is just for fluidity of the breakdown. Use your activate main to take a life. You send one of these guys to your drop. You shuffle the deck, and then you pay 1 to play another 1 drop. Let's say this one that draws you 1, and then you just pass the turn. Turn 2, awakening time. Okay, so we start. Charge 1, draw 1. Activate main. Send a card to the drop. Let's say this one. We go down to 5 lives now, so it's time to awaken. Draw 2, pay 1, and play, let's say, Hellfighter 17. He gets us our 6 cost. Now it's time to attack. We attack with Hellfighter, and we do one big combo, like one from the drop, one from the hand. So he becomes big, and then we have because we have these two in the combo area, we combo from the drop with the leader skill. We pay 1 to be able to play the 6 cost. Because we play the 6 cost, our fields auto triggers and we put a card under it, and then our 6 costs auto triggers, which gives the card minus 20k and plays the Z extra that also triggers and gives our leader plus 5k. After that the attack resolves, we swing 20k with the leader. That attack resolves, then we swing 25 with the 6 cost. That attack resolves, and then we just pass the turn. Before we end the video, let's quickly jump into the summary. New Super 17 looks really amazing. It retains some complexity of play, iconic to Super 17 decks. It's not the most straightforward deck. There is a lot of decision making on when and how you combo with stuff, when your autos trigger, when do you use your leader's ability to remove stuff. So basically there is some complexity here, but now you have an amazing archetype as well. The potential leader aggro is crazy strong. Just attacking 3 times, one of them is double, and like 2 attacks are 30k, that's insane. It flies through almost every negate in the game, that's mind-blowingly good. Archetype cards read really basic. They read like really basic, but feel quite good to play in practice. Especially when you can do like the crit gambit. That's cool. And I suggest you try it out. I highly recommend this deck. It's super fun, it's Super 17, and I'm so happy that this time around it isn't shit. So go and give it a go. That's it for the video. Let me know in the comments below. Will you try out this deck? Are you a fan of Super 17 and you're already trying it out? What do you think of this new Red Super 17? Let me know in the comments. I read all of your comments. I try to respond to everything. I love our little community. And while you're here, hit those like and subscribe buttons. Help us get to 6k subs when I'm gonna give away a booster box. This has been Damien from the Lookout, and I'll see all of you in the next video.